Here we go.
Let's do it.
Are you comfortable? Do you need anything?
I'm about as comfortable as I'm going to get on this giant couch.
This is a big couch, dude. It is a big couch.
This is like classic American made. This is not made for people my size.
No, it's definitely a couch that there's no good way to sit on it. Either you're up too far, like we are now, or you come back and you're like...
Yeah, I have a big complaint with big couches.
You're like laying down. I don't like it. Also, as a big guy, as a chubbier guy, it's hard to sit on a couch where like everything compresses or it's all like hanging out. It's not good. It's not ideal.
I don't think it's a good design.
No, I like a traditional couch like that you would find in like the Revolutionary War. Couches that were uncomfortable, but like they make you have good posture.
Dude, weird reference.
You know, that's
revolutionary. Like, I know that.
You know, you walk into a house like that would probably be haunted today.
Oh, okay.
And you sit down in 1776 and like, you know.
Dude, I like the modern. You know, those new modern, they're not made for like, you know, people.
Oh, it's just like a wood board or just like no backing.
It's like modern furniture. It's very small. It's smaller. You can't be like over 5'8" to like be comfortable in it, which is perfect for me.
That's a fun thing. They should start making furniture the way that they make clothes. Like you have to. It's not made for everybody. There's sizes.
Custom furniture.
So if you are like fat phobic, you can only buy.
What's fat phobic? Are you afraid of fat people?
No. Oh, you do not know this, dude. There's a big. You don't know what fat phobic is?
It sounds like people who are afraid of people who are fat.
They're not afraid of it. It's they hate fat people, which and there's a huge trend on social media about people who are very anti-fat phobic, and it's mostly fat people. It's not, I feel like if you were to add me to the fat community, I would be like the Candace Owens of, listen, I'm not here to, I like going to the gym. I wish I wasn't, I wish I had a six pack, but it's a lot of these people online who will, if you say something like, I wish I had a six pack and I wish I looked better, they'll be like, well, you are part of the problem. You have to be happy with being overweight. And if you go to the gym, you're shaming people who are fat. And it's just, it's wild, dude. It's all these fucking fat people being like, I can eat what I want and do what I want and I'm happy. Sure, be happy with how you are, but like no shame on you. But don't tell me that I can't want a better thing for me.
Yeah, that is...
Like, because, like, do you. If you're happy with how you are, that is fine. But don't shame me for going to the gym and trying to, like, better myself physically. That's where you lose me.
Yeah. Things are getting out of control.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I would definitely, I feel like I'm the, Yeah. Is Candace Owens a good reference, I guess?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like Candace Owens in general.
Well, I mean, it's,
Well, I'm sick of... everybody's like a celebrity, but they're not like, they have an opinion on something, but they're not educated on it. Like she's actually, whether you agree with her or you don't, she's super smart. Like when Dave Chappelle was making fun of her, I'm on Candace's side in that. And I was like, what I wanted to see happen, because I like Dave as well. I could tell he didn't really know her that well.
Yeah.
I'm like, debate her then, because she would embarrass within 30 seconds, because she's smart. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to, I haven't listened to her much. I just see her on, clips and stuff, but you know who I do like is Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I think he's cool. I don't follow him that much.
I see a lot of his clips on TikTok, I feel like. So all right. So I think in 4 minutes we've already said Candace Owens, Jordan Peterson, and fat phobic. So those are three things that I think have turned away anybody who's accidentally listening.
Yes.
If you're not intentionally here, then you probably you get a little preview of what it's going to be like, and there you go. If you stay, it's at your own risk. So welcome back to episode 16 of Seattle Town Hall Podcast. Yes. I got Dylan Krasinski here with Michael Kerrigan. We are back. We took a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah. What was the reason?
I don't even know. You know what, dude?
Let's blame it on the COVID outbreak.
Yeah. Well,
you had COVID.
Well, I did.
So,
but I think we might have recorded a podcast after I had COVID. I don't remember.
Wow, time is, I don't know if it's even flying. I'm just not paying attention to it.
I'm not sure, actually, to be honest.
I think we did. I think right after, I don't even know, dude.
I had COVID in October. right before Halloween. And then actually, no, I don't think we've recorded a podcast since then.
Really?
Yeah. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
It's a
We're
long
going to do
time.
them weekly.
I know because the solo pod I put out was like almost even with this for a little bit. I was only like 3 episodes ahead, and now I'm like at episode like 45 on that, and we're only on 16 with this.
Yeah.
So, also a new addition to the studio, which we were just doing on the couches in my apartment today, because I don't have an extra chair. I only have 1 chair now, so we had to do it on the couch. My brother, Lucas, shout out, got 2 stuffed sea otters, and he goes, "It's branding. Put it in camera." So if you're watching on YouTube or the clips, that's what that is. Nice little sea otters, and that's going to be the only time I mention it. I'll never mention it again.
Yeah, man, it's a wild world, this world of podcasting. I got to admit it.
It's you know.
It's really kind of like the Wild West now. Have you been? And I say that because I'm watching a lot of Mike Tyson. You've been watching his podcast? When I first watched it, I had trouble watching it because he's not an interviewer. He's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And the way he questions people, he'll like kind of like bully them. And one thing I love about it is Michael say something that really is like, I don't know what he's talking about. And I look around the room of the show and like, they don't know what he's talking about. And no one ever corrects him. Right?
Smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah. And are you going to correct Mike Tyson when he says something like wild? Like, dude.
No.
I've watched some podcasts with, and he's aggressively, and I mean as aggressive as you could ever see someone, jamming psychedelic mushrooms into his mouth.
I did see that. I've seen this clip. What was that on? It was on a podcast, right?
Where those kids who like fight, they're like good. They're like,
Logan, and Jake and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Impulsive. Yeah, I saw that where he's just shoving them into his mouth.
Like, I don't know, people don't know, like maybe they haven't done it. Like, what do you think the rest of that day was like?
Oh.
Do you think he's going to walk out of the studio out of his mind?
Oh my God, what a nightmare. Are you kidding me?
Oh man.
I'm scared to do mushrooms too. So that is too much for me. But I remember what he was saying. He was like, oh my God, yeah. He's like eating them, and he's just saying, yo, it's good to be scared. And they're like, you're gonna be terrified. And he goes, it's good to be scared.
That is that's a funny line. That's a great bumper sticker.
He's like, it's good to be terrified. He goes, yeah I'm ready. That's what Joey Diaz says too. And they're like, how do you eat 500 milligrams of edibles? Isn't it scary? And he goes, yeah, it's terrifying. And you're like, what? Well, why are you doing it, dude?
Yeah, Joe, I got to be honest. Sometimes you look at the world and you really wonder where we're going. Because like people, like he has a big following. I'm not putting him down in any way. But like when I've heard him give advice, like when you're getting Joey Diaz, advice, his advice on one thing, it's so corrupt and wrong. He was trying to... These guys were talking about psychedelic drugs, and he was like, dude, that's like the wrong way. That's the wrong path. You don't want to be on that. And you're like, okay. And he's like, what you need to do, you need to be doing angel dust. He's like, you really want to hallucinate. He was telling him, like, you stay in a crack house for 3 days. You don't eat, you don't drink, you smoke nothing but dust. Or like what some...
He goes, you'll be seeing demons by the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was talking about, he's like, yeah, if I want to trip out, I ain't eating that. Like, basically, I'm doing that pussy shit. I'm doing PCP. You're like, what?
What horrible advice. It's like that would be like, hey, you like drinking beer? Why don't I give you rubbing alcohol? Go into your bathroom, take that rubbing alcohol, just drink that, and that'll put you on another planet.
Don't even put that on the... We might have to edit that out.
I know that's what I'm sure people like alcoholics do. They eat like hand sanitizer.
Dude, I had a buddy who did that.
Dude, you know what? You know how in the subways they never have any hand sanitizer? They have the hand sanitizer, but it's always out. Have you ever tried to use it?
Dude, I love the fact that you think that I'm using any hand sanitizer. Even if I used hand sanitizer, you think I'm going to use the government subway hand sanitizer, dude?
I will say it's one of those things where I've tried to use it like once or twice, but like even just like touching the thing that like the spout.
It defeats the purpose.
It's like so disgusting. But do you think homeless people are out there just eating the hand sanitizer? That's why there's none there. They're just getting drunk off of Subway hand sanitizer? Probably.
If it's possible.
It's free booze, right? Because can't you get drunk on hand sanitizer?
Dude, I think it's a different type of alcohol.
I mean, listen, dude. If you're waking up on a tile floor waiting on the platform for the G, and you're like, wow, are you going to really be specific about what type of alcohol you're consuming?
No, but now you're talking about that. There's a lot of puke in this.
Don't do it at home, kids. Don't, it's not like something. because I think it can kill you probably.
Oh,
but
definitely.
But listen,
Definitely.
if you've been doing stuff like that for 45 years, I think that your body's built up a tolerance that can handle Purell.
Ugh, gross. Gross.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Mike Tyson interviews, weed, angel dust.
Well, yeah, I think the reason I brought it up is like interviewing and everything now. I'm starting to change my idea on it because like when I first seen the Tyson one, it's just so he's not like a professional interviewer, but it's different now. It's just more like raw, like whatever. So basically, there's no rules anymore. I mean, I'm gonna start. I could be doing the weather in like a week on YouTube. There's guys doing the weather. I should do my own weather, but none of mine is legit. It's just me, messing with the machines.
Yeah, that would be fun. Do you think it's frustrating? Don't you think it's frustrating a little bit, or not frustrating? What is your take on the fact that like the things that we're trying to do professionally, podcasting, entertaining, stand-up comedy, are all things now that like people who have already made it? It's like, bro, you're a millionaire. Stay out of this space. Like all these celebrities who are like, well, I have a podcast, and it's like, dude, you already are one of the most famous people in the world. We don't need a podcast from Kanye West and Kim Kardashian talking about their breakup. That's not a thing, but that could definitely be a thing. It's like the Kardashian podcast where once a week they sit down and roundtable it.
Dude, I think people would love what you just said.
Exactly. I know they would. I know they would, dude. But like, I don't know. I guess it's good. It gives you a sneak peek into the more fake lives that are pretending to be real of celebrities. But yeah.
Another thing that's going on now is I think it's kind of like because of Jake Paul and those guys, like there's a lot of non-professional people they're just setting up fights now.
Which, I mean, yeah, it's totally changed the landscape of everything, right? Because those guys are selling bigger fights because people want to watch,
Yeah, they want to watch that more than professionals.
Dude, it's like Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you remember that on MTV? It's like that, but the real-life version where celebrities now are just fighting each other.
Yeah, I think it's gone over the line, though, because I'm watching these videos, and they got these like, I don't know if they're kids or they're midgets. I'll show it to you later. It's questionable. If they got something going on. Like, they look like kids, but you're like, are they? Or are they midgets? But they're, like, making them fight now. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? We're making children. It's almost like we're doing, what's that with the bird fighting?
The what?
Cockfighting. We're just grabbing toddlers now for likes on Facebook. You're like, yo, fight this kid.
Wait, are you talking about Hezbollah?
Yeah, dude, Hezbollah. First of all, I could talk about Hezbollah for the rest of this podcast.
I don't think he's a kid.
No,
also,
he's like 19, but he's
no, I think he's like 30.
But also, he's a toddler.
I don't think so. Dude,
he's toddler size. He's not.
Yeah, he's a smaller person. I don't know.
I love it. I'd love to meet him. When I first seen him, what I thought he was like the king of Turkmenistan or somewhere. One of those countries. Because first of all, he's standing up in an SUV. I've never seen anyone do, and I loved it. I was like, I don't know why I love it. He's standing up. They're going like 150 miles on the highway, and he has like a walkie-talkie. I'm like, dude, this is like their leader, right?
Well, how else do you have this much power to just be
exactly.
riding
Have you ever
in
seen
an SUV like this?
He just wiles out wherever he goes.
Just either a ton of money or a ton of power. That's it.
The one thing I thought was a little crazy is they had like a monkey that they, because in those countries, I don't know if you can have a monkey in this country, but
I think you can.
They have a monkey on a leash, and the monkey, you can tell, doesn't respect him because he's like, this isn't, and he's like biting him, and Hasbel is scared of the monkey, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Dude, it's almost like we're in Roman times.
You gotta be, I mean, to have like a wild animal respect you, which I don't think they ever will, but you have to be like the alpha. And as soon as you like are not the alpha, that's when they attack you and take you out.
Yeah. I seen a dog that was doing a comedy show at a hostel the other day. My career is flying, by the way.
I didn't even know there were hostels in New York City. That's a dumb thing. I did, but I don't know where.
There's so many, dude. They're all over Long Island City. It's actually, dude, these hostels are nice.
How are you getting that gig? That's a pretty good gig, though.
Well, you should have been at the gig before you say that. But some guy had like a huge dog in there, and some girl started petting him like a mastiff. And he looked so cute, but you could just tell he was getting riled up. Those guys shouldn't have had him in the building.
So what happened?
Nothing, but that girl didn't know, but I could tell by his actions he was just ready to fight.
Ready to bite, ready to
No
attack.
one would control him either. You just got to run.
God, dude. That's good. Have you ever had a bad interaction with an animal?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like when? Like
my whole growing up was well, dude, it was the 80s. It was different. People didn't people like treat dogs like nice now.
yeah.
Dude, people didn't they didn't pet their dogs. Like people just kicked their dogs. This dog was my neighbor's dog was so vicious. He bit me like 15 times before I was 3 years old.
Are you kidding me?
No, he would bite me every time he got a chance.
Dude, that's a wild thing in the 80s and stuff when they would talk about how dogs and animals were always like vicious, and they would be like, "Oh, be careful, stray dogs, they'll bite you." And it's like, "Yeah, dude, you made them sleep outside, you gave them no love and attention, you beat them every chance you get." And then you're wondering why they're biting like children.
Yeah, I don't think most people a lot of people I don't even think walk their dogs. You just come to their house, their backyard would be all dog shit. The dog had no human interaction. You could tell.
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, I got bit a couple times, dogs. That's about it, though.
Today, different dogs?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I don't know, man. At some point, I think that might be a you issue.
Nah, dude, these dogs were crazy.
I've never had a bad interaction. Knock on wood.
Yeah, because you're from the new yellow lab generation. These designer. These dogs are bred better than people. Dogs I'm talking about were like mentally, scarred criminals. Just, I feel bad for them thinking about it, dude. I had a Boy Scout meeting.
They had bad childhoods.
I remember being in Boy Scouts. I wasn't there very long.
Why?
Dude, it was so whack. I hated Boy Scouts.
Oh, okay.
But the scout leader.
Not for any other reasons.
No, the scout leader kicked a puppy during the meeting, and we all, this back in the day, dude, you just didn't say anything. And I do remember, I was like, dude, I don't even think the dog was doing anything wrong. I remember he, just kicked him in the ribs. I was like, what part of Weebos is this? I didn't read this in the Boy Scout. They're teach you how to beat animals.
What part of Weeblos is this? Oh, my God. Yeah, isn't Boy Scouts all about what an organization where they're, nurturing children into young men, boys into men, nature and wildlife, preserving and protecting. And he's just like, hey, you see that dog? This next badge, we all got to fucking burn it.
Yeah, I think I came in at the tail end where they weren't doing any.
He's just lighting a just a hot iron, and he's like, all right, guys, to get your animal abuse badge, we're gonna be branding this Chihuahua on the ears.
Oh,
all right, Diane, bring all the Chihuahuas in.
Sounds like a Nexium cult.
Jesus, yeah, that's a lot. What is that in the Nexium cult? All I know is the actress from Smallville. Wasn't she part of that?
Yeah, she was in on it, but I don't know.
That's crazy. I used to love that show.
Yeah, I watched that show too.
It was good.
Yeah.
You know, my big critique with that is that they delayed Superman flying for too long. They wanted to hold off, and then when the time he flew, it was such a letdown. You were like, oh, it was almost like they did it like he could do it the whole time and just never did.
Yeah, he should have been able to fly from the beginning, I think.
Yeah, it was upsetting. I hated it. All right, dude. What else is going on? What's happening with you? Anything fun happening in the world of Mike?
I've been pretty much hibernating because it's so cold, and what did I do? I had no work, so I just pretty much chilled at my house.
Dude, that's what not that I've been, but yeah, dude, once it snows, it snowed this weekend, right? This past weekend, if you're listening on Thursday, a week ago, it snowed. And yeah, dude, there's nothing to do. It's I don't want to go out. It's been 10 degrees every single day. What are we doing? I just rather stay in my house. Have you been doing any dating?
No. I was talking to. I told you I got kicked off a Hinge. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
For I don't know what reason, but whatever. It's so embarrassing. Still, it's so suspicious sounding because someone else told me my own story, and I go, "There's more to this than she's letting on." And it really wasn't.
Dude, it's such a huge red flag. If you ever go on a date with someone off of Tinder or anywhere else, and they ask you what other dating apps you're on, never say, "Well, I used to be on Hinge, but I got banned."
Oh, it's awful, dude.
Huge red flag, dude. Huge red flag. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was doing Tinder, which I don't take seriously because
Hold on, what did you say?
I was doing Tinder.
How do you spell that?
Tinder.
Okay, I know you're calling it tender.
Tender. What do you call it?
Tinder?
Dude, I think we're saying the same thing.
Okay, it sounds like you're talking about like a meat tenderizer.
I don't know any other. Tinder.
Okay, Okay, anyway, sorry. Keep going.
You're throwing me off
Dude,
here.
I'm just saying, dude. It sounded like you were saying tender, Tender, not Tinder. Tinder.
I think it sounds pretty similar.
I mean, those are very different words, dude.
They're different. We're not spelling them. I didn't spell it.
You're saying it. All right.
I think people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they do. I'm just,
This should be the new podcast where we
Just
never
us
get to the.
arguing.
Yeah, when do you say that? Spell that.
I mean, that's pretty much what we do on this anyway. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm on that, but I don't take it seriously. So I guess on the thing when I filled it out,
Yeah.
I put in, because it always says college, and I didn't go to college, obviously. So I'm like, I'll just put in Harvard. It says comedian, I think, on my thing too. So they're like, I thought they'd get it, or like, it's funny. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking people who know me would see it. If you've seen it, you'd be like, oh, that's so funny. But these people don't know me.
Every single you're treating it like Instagram.
In my head, I was like, dude, my buddies will love this when they see that I'm set Harvard.
It's just all these girls
That don't know me and are like looking for, I don't know what they're looking for on Tinder, but anyways.
Relationships.
Yeah, so I had some girl hit me up.
Visas,
And we were hitting it off like I've never hit it off this well with a woman. I was like, I was like really excited. Going so good.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, what did you study at Harvard? And we had been joking. She was that's why I liked her. I'm like, oh, she's a real person. She has a sense of humor. And I was like, I had forgot I put it there. I was like, oh, this girl's funny. Because I didn't even know that I put Harvard. And I was like, you're a riot. And then she's like, no, what did you study? I go, oh no. And the thing I wrote a joke, like a stupid joke. I go, oh, I learned how to like park a car at Harvard Yard. You know that stupid thing that I was asking you? And she was like, what? And I'm like, what is she not? Oh, it's just a bad joke. She didn't get it. And when she found out I didn't go to Harvard, she immediately unmatched me.
That is so, oh my
So I figured it out. Like that was her one. She was probably like, I figured it out. She's been burned in love. Let's face the facts. She's been used. And she was like, she's seen me, and she was like, well,
dude, I'm surprised that
the
you're not.
only thing I like about this, I'm going to go for this guy because at least he went to Harvard. He's probably successful. It was the only thing she wanted. I guess it was like catfishing with colleges.
Oh my God, that's so funny, dude. Yeah, she's just like putting up with all of like looking at your profile and being like, I'm imagining her going through her head. She's just like, it's just all your flaws. She's like, yeah, I wouldn't, but Harvard. I mean,
because my profile pics are not done properly.
Dude, knowing you,
yeah,
you're
it's
a
like
good guy, Mike. I like you a lot. I can't imagine that you got the best dating app pics.
They would probably be considered like if there was a show where they like tell you how to do it. They're like, and this is what you don't do. You don't take a Facebook pic of you like in a hoodie in the dark as your profile pic. It scares people.
It's just a bunch of you like in the background of other photos.
Yeah, it's not done.
It's like a group of like people just like a candid at a wedding, and you're in the back of it also candid.
Like
you're
not looking,
no,
not even looking in frames.
Yeah, not even kind of blurry a little bit. It's just a bunch of those.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You don't have one picture just of you.
No,
That's so funny. That is hilarious. Dude, I'm surprised that she didn't report you and you get kicked off Tinder for that.
I don't think you can get kicked off Tinder, dude. Some of these people that I see, the shenanigans that I see on there.
Yeah, I downloaded Tinder. I re-downloaded it. I deleted it. You know who has, my roommate has a lot of success with Tinder. He like loves it. But I feel like every person I met on Tinder would be like, hey, was either like looking. Anybody who's talking to you on Tinder, in my experience, it's too good to be true. And then usually it always is. Because they'll be like, hey, what do you like to do? Blah, blah, blah. And you'll say it. You'll talk for a little bit. And they're like, I'm not looking for something serious. Is that cool with you? And you're like, okay. And then they'll be like, let's move over to Snapchat. Let's go to my website. Click on this link. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
What's Snapchat all
What?
about? I mean, I know kind of what it is.
They're like prostitutes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I do a joke
They'll
about that.
They'll talk to you for like, interact, and then they're like, what are you looking for? Blah, blah, blah. And then they'll say something like, well, I'm just looking to hook up. And then you're like, okay, I guess. And then they'll be like, all right, well, this is how much it is. And you're like, Jesus Christ, block.
I know, it has gotten
such a way.
It has gotten weird in dating to the fact
I
that
deleted
like,
it all. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this sucks.
I have almost jumped on women that weren't and be like, not jumped on them, but like just to save time, be like, are you? I was like, oh, are you a hooker? You know, and because if you're wrong on that, it's over. There's no girl with a good enough sense of humor. Like, no, that's funny though that you thought that I was a prostitute.
You're just like, yeah, it's just to get it out of the way. If someone's too attractive, it becomes too suspicious, and you're like, let me just ask, hi, how are you? Are you a prostitute?
Yeah, that's dating now.
Dating in 2022.
Are you a prostitute?
No, I'm not. Perfect. Would you like to get dinner?
Yeah, but there's also like a lot of gray area now in a lot of girls that I meet. They'll always tell me, they're like, oh, I use this app or like something. I'm like, we'll be talking, and she'll be like, no, I'm not I just meet guys. We just go out to dinner, and they're sugar babies or sugar.
Wait, like on like a sugar daddy website or like Hinge?
No, just in general, like in life now, I meet girls that are like that.
Dude, I was.
It's so much more common. Like,
yeah,
they're not streetwalk. They're not streetwalker prostitutes.
No. Yeah. Well, that is a trend too. That's why I think it's so hard to date now, is because you have people who actually like want to date. You have so many people who want so many different things, and like people don't really communicate. I think for the majority, a lot of people are bad at communicating about what they actually want. And also a lot of people who want something aren't gonna communicate it, because then someone else will be like, well, I'm not. Like sometimes I've seen on like, videos on TikTok and stuff of women who are like proudly being like, oh yeah, I go out with guys all the time just because they buy me dinner. And
yeah, why not?
I'm not gonna spend the money, but like I'll happily have them spend the money.
Yeah.
And then being like, I'm never going to date them, never going to, see nothing with them but a checkbook. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you can't say that publicly, because then the guy would be like, well, yeah, then I'm not going to go out with you.
Well, that's cool. There's probably a site just for that.
No, that happens on like Hinge all the time. I think, not that, I think for the most part, people are more cool and like looking for, or communicating about what they want. But you can't say it, I mean, it's the same way guys who are like, yeah, I'd like a relationship, but just to have sex with someone. And then they're like, okay, just kidding. I don't want a relationship. Yeah, I don't know. Guys do that the same way, ladies do the other thing.
Oh,
like ladies
funny.
there's a switch. You know what the problem is that guys couldn't be like, I'm just in this for the free dinners.
Yeah, well, they're not going to pay most of the time.
I would love to have a lady take me out.
I mean, best case usually is you're going to get it. You can get the split, which is basically like going out to dinner with yourself. But I've actually never heard of a girl like, I got this whole thing.
Which I wouldn't expect. I've only had recently. I've only had someone pay, and it was in like the last 2 years. Someone brought me out, who I was hanging out with and and she brought me out for dinner like a couple days after my birthday, and she paid for it, which was super nice. But other than that, I don't think ever in my life I've had a woman in like a dating relationship type situation. Well, maybe like an ex-girlfriend, but like have ever paid for like drinks or dinner or a meal. Offered to like get around, which is nice. That's cool. But yeah, I don't expect it either. Do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I never expect it.
I prefer to pay, because I don't know why I feel like unless it's going bad and she says let's split it, I'm cool with it. I'm like, oh, good. But if it's going well, I almost take that as like, oh, she wants to let's split it. She's not interested.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends.
No, dude,
on the
that's
girl.
it. No, if she says let's split it, she's being nice, and I go, absolutely not. I invited you out, like it's on me, for sure.
Yeah.
But that yeah. That like let's split it, I think is just a test thing. It's like it's them being like, oh well, no, I don't want to split it, but this is a polite thing to do. Or I say, hey, can we split that? And you say, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. I heard a guy, and I was actually impressed by his cheapness. He was on a date, and the girl like wanted another glass of wine.
Oh no!
And she ordered it, and he like,
oh no!
He like said something in the moment. He's like, yeah, I'm not paying for that. I was like, and the date went on from there. Now this is like,
dude.
And I meet these guys, and I go, I just wouldn't even have the heart to say that.
Were they both attractive people?
I mean, that's relevant. What do you call that? That's
Were they hot? Were they attractive people?
I don't know, normal looking people.
Good looking guy, good looking girl.
Regular
The
looking.
fact that you're delaying, I think it's easy to say like, okay, this is from New Girl, but was the guy attractive in a sense? If you
Not to the level that you'd be making those type of moves.
All right.
Like put it that way, if I was this guy, I'd hand her like $50 at the beginning of the day, just palm it to her, but like keep it fair, just to edge my bet here.
My favorite thing, it's from New Girl, when like guys can't be like, yeah, that's a good looking guy right there. Is the way you can tell if a guy is a good looking guy is if you and him switched bodies, would your life be better?
That's a good thought.
If it's 100%, then yeah, that's an attractive guy. That's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
So would your life be better if you and him switched bodies?
No.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
No, but that's
There
what
you go.
impressed me about it. The
Okay.
level of confidence to not be even a top dog and be like, hey, hold on, sweetheart. You're paying for, or I think he said like you're paying for it yourself or something. It blew my mind.
Jesus, dude.
Blew my mind.
That is, I will give ladies a lot of credit because there's a lot of like real fucking bad, daters out there. So
I think that's what if I was a female comedian, that's what I'd really indulge on is, because I hear some guys talking and I'm like, I can't believe someone's got to listen to this fucking guy. Right? For more like his opinions, he's super opinionated, wrong on everything, taking no corrections, not paying attention to anything that happens in life. He'll say like 10 things are going to happen, none of them happen ever. And then like the next week he'll tell you like what really happened. He's like, I told you so. You're like, no, you said the exact opposite.
I mean, you're describing me and you and most of the people that we interact with as guys.
No, my things are almost all correct.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Unless I give you the warning, like I don't have if you hear me on the subway or wherever you see me talking about crypto, just know that's just like that's a joke. I don't know what I'm talking
Hear
about.
me on the subway talking about crypto, just know it's not true.
Arguing.
Jesus, dude. Dude, there's been some aggressive subway stuff happening, I feel like.
Dude, it's I like I told you before, it's like 20 minutes of my act now is the subway because it's first of all it's not, well, it is starting, I don't know if it's getting better yet, but there's more cops.
That is a good thing. I've seen a lot more cops, which I dig because people were getting bold. Like people were getting that I saw, people were getting not like there's that like annoying where people come on and they're just like, can I have money? Can I do this? Can I do that? People were getting aggressive.
Like threatening right off the top. Yeah.
Getting on and being like, not even asking, no ask, just being like, I'm furious and I'm ready to kill someone. And then a whole train car of people just sits there and they just pretend to keep looking at their phones when this huge man who was just like, I'm ready to murder someone is standing in an enclosed fucking tin can.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. I don't know if you've noticed this. The uptake in smoking is gone.
Dude,
berserk.
I told you when we were hanging out the other night. Oh no. I was hanging out with someone and then I texted you because I was on the train. It was like 11 o'clock on a Friday. I was heading home earlier than usual. And this kid, legit, I think it was, kid like 17, could have been 17 years old, could have been 25, 30 years old, right? No idea. I'm also not sure, man or woman. I was not positive. But kid is smoking, literally standing up, packed subway car of like...
Weed or cigarettes?
Cigarettes.
Okay.
Way worse, I think. Way worse. Dude, gets on, stands up, leans against the door, and just legit lights a full cigarette. Lights up and smokes it and just stared, like daring someone to look at them. Like ready to murder anybody who was like, hey, man, you can't smoke on the subway. Like was ready to throw down. And then we come to the next train stop and the conductor, it was the conductor car too. It was like that one where the conductor, you can't walk through.
First or last car?
Or no, it was like in the middle. You know how they're in the middle sometimes? Mm-hmm. It was one of those. So the conductor comes in and was like, at the stop, the kid bolted, walked off, and then smoked a cigarette for one train stop, and then fucking stop to stop, gets off, and the conductor comes back, does an up and down, and goes, who's fucking smoking on the train?
Yeah, see, for me, it's...
And I go, they left.
I'm a no mask guy, so it's all any distraction from me I find amusing. Which it doesn't matter with the mask anymore, but before I used to love it. Like if something else broke out, because there was a guy like I don't know if he was eyeing me or not. It's hard to tell because sometimes you just think they are. But anyway, so I feel like he's looking at me for not having a mask, and it's over with that. So I'm just like, dude, I'm not going to argue. I'm not even mad. I'm just like, whatever, dude. You can look at me all you want. And this kid comes on the train and sits beside him, and he has no mask. Obviously, he's crazy, super crazy. And I thought he was going to smoke either a cigarette or weed.
Weed's
which I was
better.
like, I
Give
thought
me
it
a
was
little
so
bit of weed,
funny,
fine.
but he was smoking something else. And I think it was like Ajax, because like my throat, I was like, dude, it wasn't even crack. I don't know what it was, but I was like, dude, I got to get off this train.
Was it like angel dust? What's Ajax?
Ajax is like a cleaning supply. Like it had like
yeah,
it had
I know what Ajax.
Straight.
Dude, I thought you were literally throwing out like a like
a new
slang
drug ref
term for like
I think
angel
was,
dust.
It was like a cleaning product, but he had rolled it in a couple papers. And then this guy, he's like talking to this guy, and this guy was looking at me, and I'm just loving it. I'm like, here, eat that, buddy. Now this guy is smoking beside you. And the guy then the guy, which I give him credit for, he started to try to mention to this lunatic, he's like, you know, you can't smoke on the train. I'm like, dude.
You're barking up the wrong tree. This is a never gonna succeed. This is a failure from the start.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of like female comedians that I haven't seen in a while.
Dude, also, hold on, before we go to that. Also, dude, can you imagine the type of person who's straight up lighting up a cigarette, not a vape, but on the train lighting up a tobacco cigarette? You think that person's in the right state of mind to be lectured?
No, but that's why I gave him credit.
Dude, that guy's going to pull out like a razor blade and cut your throat open.
It was that would cross your mind, you'd think. I mean, it's not,
I would never say
not
shit.
unusual.
I would never say shit. All right, so you were talking to some comedians?
Yeah, because I was talking about the train, and they don't take the train. And I was like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't, now that I think about it. But like, I think that's why the city's actually not in as many problems. A majority of people about a year and a half ago were like, oh, yeah, that's out.
Yeah,
that train system is not. I'm not going down there.
I take it every day.
Yeah, but I think it's worse for a woman by herself.
I agree. I did say that to someone. I was hanging out with someone, and I said to them, I like left. We were hanging out, and I left, and I was like, oh, I just got home or whatever. And I was like, had the train to myself. Like, it was great. Like, I was the only one. And she was like, what it would be like to be a man and be excited by an empty train car.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that.
No, I wouldn't have thought of that either, because that's what I would have thought.
Yeah. But I had the train car literally for like a good like 30 minutes just alone on the train car. It was wild. And yeah, she was like, what an exciting thought to be a man who would be excited by that.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm like, yeah, you know. It was pretty nice. All right. But yeah, I have seen an uptick in cops though.
No, because this new mayor is he's an ex-cop.
Yeah.
Chief of police or something.
Yeah. Dude, did you see, I want to ask you about this. So did you see yesterday during the snowstorm? So if you're listening on Thursday, this was back on Saturday all day it snowed. I saw a video of these people in Washington Square Park. It was like, like 300-400 people having a snowball fight.
Yeah.
In Washington. And they're like, oh my God, look at us, community coming together. Can you imagine ever going to Washington Square Park to have a snowball fight?
Dude, I was hanging out there during the height of the pandemic. They were throwing full-on raves in that place. There was dudes coming in on dirt bikes, and then there was like every night there was problems.
Dude,
though.
do you remember we were walking through and there was a tattoo booth set up?
Yeah, they had everything. They had weed booths.
It was like that 13-year-old girl getting a tattoo. You don't remember that?
Dudes were like swallowing fire and all that. It was wild.
Like, Jesus Christ, we're talking not professional tattoo. That blew my mind. I knew I was like there is something wrong right now with the city where I walk by and it's literally like it was just like one of those like card tables set up and the guy had his tattooing gear and he was literally just giving this like must have been 13-year-old girl a tattoo on her arm.
Dude, in Times Square,
insane.
This was like not peak pandemic. Like after we opened up, weed was legal. And there was like, I think I might have said this on another podcast. Some guy set off a, you know how they set up weed tables now? Have you seen them? They just set up tables with weed. Yeah. Some guy, I was like, oh, he's setting up a weed table. It was on a side street. Nothing new at that point. And I looked down and I was like, dude, that's not weed. He set up a meth table. I was like, dude, what do you do? I was like, what's going on here? There's always that guy. I guess he was like, well, they're selling. Like that's going to be his argument. I already know his argument.
They're selling
dude,
weed.
They're selling weed, dude.
That's not.
These are healing
drug.
crystals.
They're charging under the light of the moon.
Yeah, but yeah, it's wild out there.
That's great, dude. And also, Washington Square Park is a bit of a nightmare.
That's been like a hot spot because that was the only thing that those people can do for so long. Like,
Yeah, I'm not into it. Did you see? Okay, I have this that I wanted to ask you about. So, do you follow Kim Kardashian and Kanye West?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what's going on with them?
They're divorced. That's all.
So
I
they're
know.
divorced, right? And Kim Kardashian has been dating Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, I heard something like that.
Okay. So if you don't know, for you, like Kanye West apparently is like still in love with Kim. He kind of tweets off these crazy things like, my wife and I are bonded for life. She'll come back to me. Like, kind of just like as a celebrity, if some random guy from like Ohio gets divorced and like starts tweeting that about his ex-wife, like nobody sees it. But when you're Kanye West, it's both cases. It's a little weird, but it's like insane when Kanye West does it, right? So apparently he's like obsessed. He bought a house next to her to like co-parent in LA. But apparently he's been going around. So this is the rumor now. It came out last week where he's going around apparently spreading this lie, this rumor that Pete Davidson has AIDS.
Dude, that's pretty funny. It's like that's like a 5th grade type of tactic.
Can you imagine, dude?
Honestly though, and I'm not defending the tactic.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look well.
I think he's got some autoimmune thing going on. I forget what it's called.
No, but that's not what I said it. I said it because like if you're gonna say it about someone, people would be like, oh, that's why he's got those bags under his eyes. Like because if you do it about a healthy guy,
he looks gaunt.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
No, I'm sure he doesn't. He doesn't. But I was saying, like, a lot of people are saying, like,
how the hell do either one of us have a? We don't have a clue. Like, he could have triple AIDS for all we know.
By the time we're recording this on Sunday, by the time it comes out on Thursday, he might make a statement being like, "It's true."
Yeah,
and we'll fucking look like idiots when this comes out on Thursday, being like, "No way in hell I'd bet all my crypto on this, all my life and my crypto and my house that I don't have."
You got crypto?
A little bit.
Oh, all right.
Not much. I mean, as everybody else was doing, I was just putting all that unemployment money into the crypto, which I'm pretty sure might be a scam because like maybe the government created crypto and they're just going to take all the money back, all that money they gave out, they're just collecting it.
Oh, then they.
I just
sink
made
the
up
shit.
that off the top of my head.
It's very very plausible.
Very pleasable for you, and very plausible.
Plausible.
Plausible and pleasable.
All right. So what were we talking about? The Kanye?
Oh yeah, no, that was just the thing that he said that he's going around. Apparently, he's told this rapper was like, Kanye West told me, and I know like 8 other people he's told that he's been going around saying that Pete Davidson has AIDS, which is when I heard that, like my first thought it was like
it sounds like a song title,
super like illegal. Pete Davidson.
It's almost the hook, like. Pete Davidson's got AIDS.
He should have put it out as a song.
Yeah, maybe Pete should put it out as a song.
Then he could say it's art and like it's not true and nobody would believe it's true because it's art.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You got to prove.
I mean, for sure, I think illegal.
I don't know.
Like for sure, you're not allowed to go around and say publicly.
But I think the way that you say he said it was like he said it to like supposedly like a friend. Like he didn't come out on a press conference, right?
That's true. Just straight up spreading rumors about other people. I mean, what a wild thing to say, though.
I mean, yeah, that is wild. But I gotta say, in his defense, though, like think about your mental state if your wife she leaves you, right? Terrible. You got kids.
Yeah.
For Pete Davidson, it's like what's going on with the world now? Right?
I mean, he's been dating everybody, dude.
Yeah, and
he's like the next Leo.
He does date a lot of women. The thing about I've noticed he dates a lot of girls. Dude, he's never been sadder. I seen an interview with him. I was like, dude, he's just getting like his level of sad is very sad. Because he's like the way he described it to an interview is like
music. I don't know where that's coming from.
Probably
Next
the
door?
hallway.
Probably the hallway. Oh. Yeah. Dude, holy shit, man. But
I seen something. He's like, dude, he's like, I'm sad right when I wake up in the morning. He said, and I was like, that's brutal.
they're like, Pete, how are you? He's like, sad.
Real sad.
I mean,
tough.
the guy's got everything, you know? The guy's got everything.
Well, what's it worth if you're sad all the time?
I know, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad that he's sad.
It's sad that he's sad.
You know what? I don't give a shit about him. To be honest, I hate that when people are like, "Oh man, I feel so bad for that celebrity." It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Have you ever had that when like have you ever had like an enemy, something bad happened to someone that you just like despised?
Probably at some point.
Well, like no. So
It's not coming to mind.
So I remember there was something like someone that is like difficult to work with or like fucking bad and like I remember there was this I don't even want to say it because it's fucking terrible, but like whenever people die and then they were like not good people, but then someone's like, oh my god, isn't it terrible? And it's like, no, that was a bad person. They were an asshole. They made your life miserable. Why are you sad? Like, you could be sad for their family, but like the fact that that person's not here makes it a better world. And people are like, oh my God, are you a psycho? You can't say that. And I say, absolutely, you can say that. 100% you can say that.
No, but I kind of know what you're talking about. Like, I always think of it like this. This is how you can tell. You can tell how bad a person's life was if they're dead and they're 30, and the only picture at like the funeral thing is them when they were in Little League, because they got to go back like 25 years to just get a picture where you don't look like a total criminal
without a cigarette in their mouth.
Yeah, without like someone beside you that you're currently extorting for money.
Oh God, yeah. But that's something I stand firm on. Is like, listen, if you're a bad person, I don't want like death should not be an excuse to be like misremembering people.
Misremembering, I'll give you that. Yeah, there's you give them a little bit of leeway at the but after a while you gotta break it down here. But like, that's not true.
Yeah,
just making it up.
Yeah,
people tend to do that.
I can say I remember where I used to work. This someone that was adjacent to our office got sick and like got removed from work, like stopped coming to work for like a while. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I feel so bad. And I was like, dude, 3 days ago, you were telling me how this was the worst person you've ever met in your life and how like they make your life miserable every single day. And it was true. Like, this was the worst person I ever met. Like, literally made life difficult. Like, you would find joy in making life unpleasant for people, and you would see it. And I was like, dude, this guy's a piece of shit. And then my coworkers would be like, isn't that sad? I'd be like, no. Have you enjoyed going to work the last week? It's been fucking beautiful. It's been so pleasant. And they're like, yeah, but isn't it? I'm like, no, it's not. It's great.
Well, maybe
it's really nice.
Maybe what really happened is they were just putting on a front because they had poisoned him.
That one,
right? And they're like, oh, I feel so bad. He can't hold down his lunch, poor guy. It's like, yeah, because you have poison.
No, it was cancer. Oh, but
that's not as funny. Maybe
he survived.
Great.
I mean, fucking. I don't want to say. I feel like I don't want. I feel bad talking shit, but like the guy was an asshole. Still is. He's still alive. But I mean, what's the worst cancer you can get? That's the one he got and came back from it. Like the one that has like a 0% survival rate. He came back from it and came back to work. And I was like, this fucking miserable son of a bitch, dude.
Was he HR like Toby from The Office?
No, he was, yeah, he was, I don't want to say too much.
But. Yeah. You don't want to get sued.
Yeah, he was just like
for slander.
No, he's a very unpleasant person, dude. It's not slander. I mean, I watched how unpleasant he was every single day.
I can only imagine working in those type of scenarios because I've never done it like an office or anything.
But yeah, that was the thing. It's like you feel bad for, family and everything like that. But like, dude, if you were intentionally making life miserable for people, I hate this fakeness. It's lying. It's like, don't tell me that you're sad that this person's not here anymore because 3 days ago, before they died or before they left or before, they got transferred somewhere, you were telling me, or fired, you were telling me how much you hate them and how you wish that they wouldn't be here anymore. And you just got your wish. So don't turn around and feel guilty now. I don't like it. All right. How do you feel?
I feel great.
I feel great, dude. That was a good app. Hot app.
Tap it.
All right. Well, this will be out after our show on Tuesday.
But we'll just keep plugging our shows. We're doing Hideout Comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy Shop
Tuesday. And I didn't tell you this, actually. I talked to Peter, and we are the first Tuesday of every month at 10 o'clock at the Comedy Shop. We're just we're continuing.
First Tuesdays.
Pending. Yeah, just happening.
Yeah, well, and we're probably, once it takes off, we're going to do more. Maybe
Yeah.
what do you think, weekly or monthly?
We'll see. I think we're going to stay monthly there. I kind of, who knows? I'd rather get a better day, but Tuesdays at 10, everybody. Because normal people don't come out Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
I know.
It's vagrants, dude, and alcoholics. But if you're listening, you might be one of the two or both.
We love you guys. You're going to have a good time.
Do you want to plug anything?
No, you can check me out at Brooklyn Comedy Club this upcoming weekend. I'm there on Friday night.
Yeah. You can follow me at Dylan Krasinski on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Sea Otter Town Hall podcast out Thursday sporadically. We're going to try to do these, every week now. So I know we say that every episode, but thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And we hope to see you soon.
All right.
Good night.